Hello everyone and welcome to BrickCats. My channel is for anyone who enjoys custom LEGO creations, likes saving money, and or those looking to get into custom building. If you're a fan of my channel or are interested in supporting what I do, please consider liking this review, subscribing, or leaving a comment. Each like, subscription, and comment helps others find my channel, and I greatly appreciate your support. Today I'm taking a look at Ron McPhatty's Chopper, intended as a companion build to the official R2-D2 set, 75379. It's also in scale with the new C-3PO buildable figure, set 75398. Without any substitutions, in late January 2025, I got 4 stores and $88 without shipping and tax, or about $118 with shipping and tax. In my reviews, I offer my opinions on aesthetics and model features, parts issues you might want to look out for, the build experience, the model's integrity, and I close out with my overall impression and pricing information in the conclusion. If you're watching this review, I assume you've bought the instructions or are interested in buying them. I also assume a basic level of familiarity with Brickling's ordering system and LEGO nomenclature. I only use genuine LEGO bricks and I always purchase the instructions. I create these reviews for my own personal enjoyment and in the hopes that my advice will make your experience more enjoyable and or less expensive. Chopper is just a hair over 8.5 inches tall, 6.25 inches wide, and about 3.75 inches deep. Moving from top to bottom, his little dish antenna is in the right spot on top. Unfortunately, there is no dark orange 6x6 round plate, but dark tan works okay. The dark tan round plate is specified right here. I tiled this off with the 2x2 round plates and 2x2 and 3x3 curved tiles to get the uniform dark orange, which I personally prefer, so that's what you see here. The head is nicely shaped, with only a few off colors like dark bluish gray poking through here and there. There's no good option for covering these up, and it's not very distracting. The head does rotate 360 degrees. And there are attachment points for his 2 arms on either side. I really like how the overall shape of the head comes together with minimal gaps. And I also really like these 2 little color details on Chopper's face, the continuation of this bright light orange section underneath his black eye, and the small section of dark orange that breaks up the bright light orange band. Chopper's legs are both done very well. On Chopper's right leg, his gray leg uses the whip piece to represent the little bit of tubing here, even if it is black instead of gray. I think it would be hard to use a flex tube here because it's a pretty tight bend. I also like this orange stripe right here, along with I guess is some kind of piston for his leg. On the left, the green shoulder section is done well, and I love the 3x3 dark green round bricks here to make this leg smoother than the other. There's also some more canon accurate bright light orange detailing here on the side. Moving to Chopper's body, the model's rebrickable description states that this is intended to be his Rebels color scheme. A lot of the images I can find of Chopper are somewhat inconsistent, and you can make the case for certain details being a bit off. For example, there's this little section on the front here, which is more yellow than gray in Rebels. One other potential color inaccuracy is this large dark green section on its right side, which seems to be a bit smaller in the show. However, these are really only notable because the rest of the model is so good. I love the front arm in particular for its shaping, and this does have a little bit of actuation. This is mounted on a pneumatic T-piece, so the bar here is a little bit short, so it does come off a little bit easily. But generally, this is just going to be stored like this. These 2 panel pieces near the front arm, and this badge-like shape right here, as well as this little circular element here. Last but not least, the designer has included a really ingenious mechanism for Chopper's wheel. It retracts almost fully into the body, you can just see the bottom of it there. And when you tilt him back, it pops out a little bit. And then you pull it down, and it does roll on the surface of your table or whatever. So then you can have him posed in a rolling motion, like so. Putting the wheel back is just a matter of pulling it slightly forward, like that, and then you push the wheel back inside the body and straighten the legs out. So that feature is really awesome, and Ron McPhatty also has a modification for the R2-D2 set to do pretty much the same thing. I honestly don't know why LEGO couldn't have done that, but that was just really slick. And very simple mechanism as well. So very well done on that. So in sum, this buildable chopper is an excellent display piece, and the retractable wheel is implemented in a very clever and satisfying way. And on appearance and model features alone, this is a really, really cool model. For parts, raw McPhatty's chopper requires 231 elements and 980 pieces as specified. The designer has done an incredible job using common elements, and as a result, there really aren't a whole lot of logical substitutions to save on cost. Most of the interior frame is hidden, however, so here are a few elements that appear in larger quantities that you might already have in your collection that are safe color substitutes. I do have some notes on elements that have some conditions attached. The first are the 16 hinge brick 1x2 bases in black, part 3937. These are all in Chopper's head, and the bases are completely hidden. They can be any color. The 2x2 hinge top plates, part 6134, are somewhat visible, and the specified black works well. The reddish brown is also very common and might blend in slightly better, although they're rather difficult to see anyways. Finally, the model calls for a 20-plate modified 2x2 by 2/3 with 2 studs on side, hollow bottom tube, part 4304 in light bluish gray. 16 of these are completely hidden and thus can be any color. The 4 you're able to see are only visible at the bottom of the model. They're right here, 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 and here. So if you don't care about that, you can feel free to substitute all 20 of them. This element is, as far as I know, functionally identical to element number 99206, the plate modified 2x2 by 2/3 with studs on side. Part 99206 is very common in light bluish gray, and this is a very useful piece in general, so you could simply add 20 of part 99206 and remove part 4304. Since this model doesn't contain any uncommon or even many new elements, you won't actually realize much of any savings using Pick-a-Brick. There's about a $10 price difference using only Bricklink and Pick-a-Brick, so if mostly new elements are worth $10 to you, then consider the Pick-a-Brick route. I use the Brick Hunter extension, and I have a referral link in the description. Thank you very much for those of you who choose to use it. And check out this video if you've never used the Brick Hunter extension before. Pick-a-Brick orders over $35 total qualify for free shipping, and if you spend more than $14 in the bestseller and standard categories, all the handling fees are waived. Note, at the time I'm recording this video in late January 2025, Pick-a-Brick Standard is still down, and honestly I can't really recommend Pick-a-Brick Standard at this point. I have orders that were placed on October 17th that still have not even shipped from Denmark yet, so I would stick to bestsellers. Instructions for Chopper consists of 258 steps with each part or subassembly added in each step outlined in red against the dark gray background. This is generally just fine for visibility. Sometimes the red outline against the dark orange is a little difficult to see, but most of the time it's fairly obvious where the pieces go. I didn't have any significant issues with viewing angle or sequencing. The build goes at a nice pace with usually only a few elements added in a given step. There are some exceptions such as Chopper's arms that have more pieces, but this is fine and it feels fairly natural. The build took me about 4 hours total if you don't count the 3 weeks I had to wait for one of the pieces I was missing to arrive from a Bricklink seller. I love the little exclamation marks on certain steps that draw attention to important details, mostly to highlight reference points you'll need to pay attention to. I only noticed a few steps that could have been marginally better. Step 59 and 81 have odd viewing angles, but in both instances you kind of know how these subassemblies connect already. The subassembly in steps 218 through 227 make up the side of Chopper's head, and this only has a ×2 marking at the end of the subassembly when it's generally better to put this at the beginning, so you can build them in parallel and not have to go backwards to start it again. And finally, in step 20 the instructions are clear. I just have a little bit of trouble getting the rubber band into the correct position such that the rest of the subassembly would work. This just takes some patience as the tolerances are pretty tight here. These minor issues aside, the instructions are very easy to follow and very well done. This, along with the absence of any tricky or unintuitive connections, means this model is suitable for all levels of builders. And to close out this section, I wanted to talk briefly about the overall similarities to the R2-D2 official set, number 75379. The Mox Details page on Rebrickable clearly states that this model is based heavily on the structure of set 75379, and this is most evident in the constructions of the legs and the outer sections of the body. This is not a bad thing though, as these are some of the least interesting parts of the model anyway in terms of construction. The interior of Chopper's body is significantly different and the head construction is completely different, so if you're worried about this being too similar to 75379 in my opinion, you shouldn't be. This model is very sturdy, and really the only things likely to come off are the arms, either the two on the side of Chopper's head or the one in front. Like I said earlier, this is just a little short bar connection, so it can come off fairly easily. Chopper's feet are a little loose, but this is on purpose as there has to be a little bit of give here to put him in the rolling position. Other than that, the only thing I've noticed is that moving his head around sometimes causes some of these angled subassemblies on the side to move slightly. They can also break off, but that's not very common. It does feel a little odd to have things flexing when you rotate the head, but it's really not too bad. It's especially noticeable on the back here. You also can't rotate him too far forward or backward on his legs, and the reason for this is that the axles connecting the legs are part of the retractable wheel mechanism. The model will tip if you try and go too far forward, but it's pretty stable and the chances of this happening on accident are pretty slim. I typically stick to minifigure scale, and most custom buildable figures or buildable figure-like official sets don't really catch my eye. But Ron McPhatty's Chopper has completely changed my views on them. This model is really great and manages to achieve the trifecta of low cost, visual accuracy, and model durability. Again, without any substitutions, I was getting 4 stores and $88 without shipping and tax, or about $118 with shipping and tax. With my substitutions, I eliminated the store, but the price increased by $2. That's a net gain, so 3 stores and $90 without shipping and tax, or about $114 with shipping and tax. And then ordering from Pick-a-Brick, the Pick-a-Brick total was $108. That includes tax, but the shipping was free. The remaining elements I could get from Bricklink were 2 stores and $3 without shipping and tax, or about $15 with shipping and tax, for a total of $123. Instructions for this model are available for a very reasonable £5 or about $6.50 in Unrebrickable. There will be a link to where you can buy those in the description below. Thanks as always for watching my review of Ron McPhatty's Chopper build. If you built this model, you have something to share that I left out, or have a question about something I didn't cover, please leave your thoughts below in the comments. I'm very conscious that subscribers are earned and not deserved, so if you enjoy my content and want to see more, consider subscribing, leaving the video a like or a comment, or follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Thank you, and I hope to see you back next time.